Hello YouTube, Runa here. Welcome to the Black Flame Cauldron. I am your lovely host. So, today I want to talk about circles and circle casting. I will explain and give like a rundown on how it's done, and then the debate in the Left Hand Path community between should we or should we not, do we, don't we, that kind of thing. If you come from a Wiccan background or a more traditional pagan background even, then you probably know what I'm talking about. If you don't, then a circle is a means to protect your space or deem your space sacred. It involves calling the quarters and calling on the four elements. So, usually, you will use anathema as your means of directing energy around your circle. Now, depending on what direction you start in, dictates on what you're doing. I guess so basic, you would start with the north. But either way, so I mean, if you're trying to cast a circle in the name of a spirit, you would use whatever direction, or trying to really focus upon that element, you would start in that direction. Either way. And then there's the part about clockwise versus counterclockwise, or I think it's pronounced Deozil versus Widdershins. So, Deozil being, I hope I'm saying that right, being clockwise, and then Widdershins being counterclockwise. So as for how circle casting goes, and how it protects your space and such, it puts you into a headspace, a good meditation space and everything, and it creates a sacred space for you mentally, and for the creates a shield around what you're doing, and creates the sacred space you're looking at for doing rituals and spell work. It protects you, and it creates a shield, so nothing trying to get in at you can get in. Nothing can get its little dirty hands in there and screw around with your spell work, or pretend to be a spirit when you're trying to commune and start lying to you or whatever else are draining you. It's a means of protection, and it's also a way to erect your sacred space, as I said. So, essentially, you would need, a lot of people like a correspondence to each of the four elements, so I guess you could use some salt for earth, incense ash for air, a candle for fire, and a little lit candle, of course. And some water, or sacred water, I would say. Moon water, Florida water, I guess, if you want to use that kind of a thing. I don't really know. I've never used Florida water myself. I've never been able to get my hands on it or actually make it myself yet. Maybe I'll make a video about it if I ever get to use it, or make a video on how I make it if I do. But we'll see. That's in the future. But use rainwaters, all sorts of things. Sacred special waters. Or waters that you've blessed. So you could put them at the four quarters, being the four main directions, north, south, east, west, and go like that. So some people see north and east changed and switched with the correspondence to the elements. Some people see it as north being earth, some people see it as north being air, and vice versa with the east. Some people see it as being air, and some people see it as being earth. Most books I have seen, and most people, including myself, see north being earth and east being air. But some people don't feel that's true, so that's up to you, really. I've never seen the other two switched, but never know. Never seen the other two. But cause talking about like the South being fire, it always makes me think of the movie Little Nicky. The South, the deep South. But anyway, I love that movie. Anyway, so what you would essentially be doing is, you'd be using your athame, calling down the forces from source or wherever you draw your power from, or use it from inside of you, whatever you want, really, and call forth your protections, and then you would point it at whatever quarter you were starting at. In my case, in basic case, you would start at north, and many people go clockwise around, or it's diesel, and to open the circle and cast the circle, then to relinquish the circle or close the circle, widdershins, which is counterclockwise. So some people do it backwards. I know some people, like in left-hand path or satanic circles, will do it backwards. Other people don't really care which way. I don't really care which way, to be honest. I mean, if I cast a circle, I usually do it diesel, then widdershins, but I don't really care. It's never really made a difference to me. But it's all on what you're comfortable with, from what I've seen. And some people get really fancy with their circles, and they will put like a candle at each of the quarters as well, along with your elemental correspondences. Some people put a salt circle all around, or a sand circle, or a rope circle, or whatever else, really. If I have the space available, I like to put a candle, or at least a elemental correspondence at each point. And it helps me to mark out where it is, especially if I'm in an open space and I'll be walking around or doing something, moving around. Or if I'm in a more closed space, or I don't plan on really moving around a lot, then I'll just cast it. Mental visualization kind of a thing. It works completely. So what you would do is you would start in the north, and then you would face the north, and after you draw down your power and face your starting direction, say it's north, and call to the earth, call to the northern watchtower, call to the northern spirits, those that guide you, those that will come and such. If you work with archangels, you call to I don't off the top of my head. Raphael of the North? I don't fully remember. I think it's Raphael of the North. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Do not quote me on that. But you call on whatever archangel, archdemon, or whatever else that you want, and for protection and guidance and such, and then welcoming that spirit to your quarter, and then you would turn whatever direction you're going. If you prefer to cast widdershins, then you turn left. If you prefer to cast diesel, turn right, and west or east respectively. Call your stuff there, call your elements and everything else, until you get there, and then you come back to where you started in the north, or wherever you started, and then your circle is cast. Declare your circle cast, at least I do, and there you go. You're nice and safe, nothing can get in, you're good. Now, there's a million ways to do this. I mean, I've cast different circles of different energies, all sorts of things, and they've all proven effective. It's all in your own visualization. Like, take shielding, for instance. If you know how to shield yourself and envision an energy shield of any kind over yourself, you can get creative with those things. I mean, some people like the eggshell, some people want a shield of white light, some people want a mirror, some people like layers. I like layers and stuff, and they all do different things. You just program it to do what you want, and then you could do the same thing with that, because it's a visualization and such like that. Now we get to the debate between do I or don't I, if I am working with spirits, or if I'm on the left-hand path, or whatever else. I personally do not see a problem with it in this case. In this case only, is if you are casting your circle to create a sacred space, but you are inviting the spirit inside with you to commune. You're not keeping them out. You're not keeping them on the other side. This isn't like Key of Solomon shit or whatever the fuck. This isn't like your old ceremonial magic where you will be constraining and you will do my will in the name of God, in the name of Jesus Christ, you will do my will. No, that is highly disrespectful. And I mean, if you've read anything about that, or you've heard stories about that, you wonder why that most of those magicians probably had a really shitty life, or they got attacked, or they died suddenly, or they died via something violent, or whatever else, or they lost their mind. Spirits they don't really like that. They don't want to be forced. They're like a person. Would you call somebody and say, you have to do what I say, or else I'm calling the police, or I'm calling the government? on you, or I'm blackmailing you, or some bullshit like that. You have to. It's like putting someone at gunpoint. No, they're not gonna like you, and even if they do what you want, it's gonna come back on you. Be respectful. Come from respect. I don't see any problem with doing that. And what that does for me, if I cast a circle, is it keeps out any other energies that might be floating around or might be trying to invade and screw around and, pose as spirits. Whereas I would cast my circle and then proceed with my evocation to join me into the sacred space, because they don't belong away from me. If I'm trying to make friends with them or work with them, then why would I keep them outside the circle, That just seems very disrespectful to me. But I don't see a problem as long as you're doing it like that. If you're doing it the other way and you're keeping yourself separate, then no, I don't think that's right. I think that's really disrespectful. It's very ingenuine. And if you're trying to form a relationship with someone, you don't do that. You're not going to put like a sheet of plexiglass in front of the person and everything, and you're only allowed to see through the glass. You can't actually touch them, but you tell them you want to be their friend, or you want to work with them, you want to be their business partner or something like that. You don't do that. It's my opinion. I would recommend taking that if you're going to keep casting circles, or if that is good for you. Now, you don't have to do that to make your space sacred. There's a million ways to make your space sacred and cleanse your space, keep it nice and energetically pure and everything else. There are many ways to do that. You don't have to cast a circle. I mean, whatever current you work with, you can call in those kinds of energies, like Klabothic energy or whatever, if you work in that realm. Stuff like that. So this is just my 2 cents in this. So should you? I don't know. Should you? Do you think you should? I think you should be respectful about it if you do. But, yeah. I think it could be a good thing for beginners too. Especially like if you're not really used to dealing with stuff and intrusions and such. Then it can give you a little bit more clarity. But that's my opinion. What do you think? Tell me in the comments if you have any kind of opinion. If you disagree with me, tell me why. And, let's start some talking. I like talking. So, yeah. Thank you for watching. Yeah, I think that's about it for my video on this topic. Any questions, comments, concerns, let me know, or email me. And if you're looking for readings of various kinds, tarot, past life, anything like that, or spell work, head to the Facebook page down below, and we will talk soon. So thank you very much for watching. Blessings to you, and talk soon.